Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 56 of Talkin ATL. We are all back from Thanksgiving break. At least, well, I'm back in my school. They're back at their apartment, I believe, or I don't know if they're still at home. But
Well, yeah, we'll still have the crib. We'll head back to the apartment tonight, though.
okay, I got you. But yeah, this is episode 56. I'm here with the best co-host I could ask for, Andrew and Chase Jefferson. My person and John. But anyways, how was y'all's Thanksgiving? How was y'all's last week?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to answer your question with a question, John.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you. It says that the start pitch cut. I'm going to throw this question out here. I'm giving you. You're going through the line at Thanksgiving. You have a plate, and you can only fit 5 items on the plate. What are
Ooh,
y'all choosing?
ooh, okay. Well,
This doesn't count. This doesn't count the start pitch cut. This is just a random question I have.
obviously you gotta go with the turkey there. You gotta go with the nice turkey. You gotta you gotta go with that. Then obviously stuffing. Gonna go stuffing with that as well. Um, um, mac and cheese, mac and cheese, mac and cheese. Um, let's do a little bit of green beans. Keep it healthy. Keep it healthy.
Okay. Okay. Nice balance.
Um,
Nice balance.
and then obviously you're gonna have some sort of pie in there, right? You're gonna
Oh
have
yeah, it's gotta have dessert.
yeah.
Personally,
I'm gonna go ahead
personally,
and just clear the air and just go and say this before Chase goes, because I know what Chase is gonna say. Because obviously I had Thanksgiving with him every year. I'm just gonna go and throw it out there now. I just want to say just to clarify, I do understand that I am in the minority when it comes to this argument. But turkey sucks. Turkey sucks. It may be the icon, the image of Thanksgiving, but the meat itself is so bad. It sucks. It's dry 90% of the time, and when it's juicy,
you
I
just been
still
eating
don't
the
like
wrong
it.
turkey, bro.
So
Okay,
it's a
so
lose lose. So every single year I skip over the turkey and I go straight to the honey baked ham, and that will never let
I
me down.
somewhat agree with you on that, but there is something special about a Thanksgiving turkey. It's like the aura of Thanksgiving, like somehow like makes that turkey like ten times more delicious.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know
You
what?
see, this is the best way.
I've tried to approach it with that mindset before, but every time I just like say, okay, it's Thanksgiving, I just have to suck it up and like it. I just don't. It's just like
Yeah,
I put it in my mouth and I'm like, why is this a staple of Thanksgiving?
Look,
Like, do we hate ourselves as human beings or something?
this is the best way to put it. A juicy, phenomenal turkey clears any type of ham, but a mid ham clears a mid turkey. Turkey is only better than ham when it's like, but when it's made right.
No.
When turkey's made right, it beats any other meat.
You know what, Chase? Now that I think about it, you're still wrong. Moving on. Case closed.
Anyways, so how was y'all's Thanksgiving? Since Chase didn't answer my question, and it said
Good to say the least.
okay.
Great. It was solid.
That's
It was
nice.
a
I mean,
very eventful Thanksgiving. For all the good reasons though,
right? Yeah,
nothing bad. Just we had a lot going on. But like I
yeah,
said, they were all good things. So
right.
um,
Yeah, like mine was like extra good. I know with the Packers winning, sweeping the Lions. That
look,
can't complain there. I mean, that's expected because like it's the Lions on Thanksgiving, they always lose. That's
yeah,
like
yeah. That's what I'm
Thanksgiving
saying. Like,
tradition.
Thanksgiving
you
tradition.
guys kept the old Thanksgiving tradition going, man.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I like was upsetting was like was Arkansas losing to Duke that night. But I mean, hey,
Duke's a tough team, bro.
yeah, no, I mean, like, like Duke is a tough team. Plus, it was in Chicago, where the Boozers twins, Boozer brothers' dad, Carlos
Yep.
Boozer played. So so like they channeled like their inner Carlos Boozer, and hey,
Straight
like
up,
we'll
man.
see him again like later in March. But I mean, hey,
Perhaps.
I know I'm
Perhaps.
talking about. And I'm talking about college basketball. We're here to talk Hawks basketball. But before we get into that, somewhat, it's time for the start bench cut. And with the things sitting out of the way, there's one more holiday that comes around, in about 26 days. You might have heard of it. It's called Christmas.
Christmas time. Yeah, Mariah Carey reminds me every year, actually.
Yes, exactly. She has officially defrosted. She's out. She's out of the ice, and
Are we in agreement that that's the best like Christmas
yes,
song out there?
yes. Andrew!
It's the most iconic, but it's not the best. It's like turkey. It's like turkey. It's the staple. It's the image of Christmas music, but it's certainly not the
The
best.
song is a bop.
It's good. It's the Jerry West of Christmas music. It's the image. It's the icon. It's the logo of Christmas music, but it's far from being the best.
I wish I could play it right now, but I don't want to get a copyright strike.
I would choose a lot of other Christmas songs over that one. But it's
of course you would.
Speaking of Christmas and speaking of the Hawks, my start bench cut for us is if y'all could ask Santa Claus to bring you 3 Hawks related gifts, regardless of price, because Santa Claus gets whatever you want on your list.
I'll go first.
Yeah,
let me go first. Because mine's gonna be short and sweet.
Santa doesn't care about price. He will instantly make that stuff happen.
Perfect.
Go ahead,
I got it. Easy.
What are 3 Hawks related gifts you want for Christmas?
I got it. Go ahead, Eddie. Go ahead. I'll be right after you.
Jalen Johnson jersey, Jalen Johnson body pillow, and Jalen Johnson body pillow. 2 of them in case I break the other one.
I'm
for some reasons
shocked.
I can't say on there.
I'm shocked that you said that. Okay. You didn't ask for a Keaton Wallace jersey?
Next question.
You didn't ask for a Keaton Wallace.
I was gonna go a different route, and I'm glad you said price isn't included. Now, Santa's a man of miracles. I do know that, and I don't know if Santa has to abide by the law. I hope not, because I want a naked Trae Young, a naked Jalen Johnson, and a naked Zachary Richardson at my door. Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Like Christmas caroling?
No, off to myself.
No, but like Christmas caroling. Is that what you want them to do when they open the door?
We can't. Oh my gosh.
I'm sure.
Okay.
So,
good start and good, Jordan.
I guess. Okay. I guess I'm gonna keeping this somewhat PG here.
What was wrong with Jalen Johnson's body pillow?
Fair enough. Okay, but I guess what I would want from Santa that are Hawks related is court side seats to any game of my choosing.
Which would be?
I mean, just any game of my choosing. I'm not going to specify a game. Just any game.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had a game in mind or not. Yeah.
I mean, like, I guess maybe a Hawks playoff game.
Okay, fair enough.
Perhaps a finals game, Joiner?
I'll say first round because I'm not going to put expectations on us. I mean, because like Santa Claus can't like buy me a finals ticket. I mean, I guess Santa knows if you're naughty or nice, but like he doesn't know like if the Hawks are going to make the finals this year. Obviously.
That is true.
I mean,
Santa has limits.
Yes, Santa does have limits.
Chase is being very
it's not limits when it comes to like getting every house in the world within 10 or 12 hours.
Not that hard,
house before morning.
Santa's overrated, bro. Anybody with a sleigh and reindeers can do that, bro.
Don't you dare call Santa overrated.
My fault.
Andrew's on like a horrible take streak right now.
But okay, so I will do like courtside seats to any playoff game of my choosing. And then I want a signed game ball by Vic Reggie. And then I want I want Jalen Johnson's unwashed jersey from this game tonight.
From this game tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
You
You know
take the
what?
jersey.
Unwashed.
I'll tell you what.
Unwashed. I want all of his sweat in it so I can like wrinkle it out and like
Put,
and then make
put it in a jar.
You know what?
shower in Jalen Johnson's sweat.
You know
Put it
what?
in a-
You
put it in
take
a-
the jersey. You take the jersey. I'll take whatever's underneath the shorts.
Okay.
Hey, put it in a jar, like a little Gatorade bottle. So your next basketball game, people be like, "Hey, yo, John, like pass the Gatorade." I'm like, "This ain't Gatorade. This is Jalen Johnson's sweat."
Oh, sell online like people sell Cindy Sweeney's bathwater.
Oh, pay up, bro. Where do I buy now, bro? Where do I buy now?
Oh, selling on Amazon.
Hey, and speaking of Cindy Sweeney's bathwater, does anyone ever know if the bar soap that Dr. Squash made, where it was like Cindy Sweeney bathwater made? Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Was that actually? Did anyone know if that was actually real?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
It's 100% real.
yeah, it was. I bought one.
Did you actually?
No, I didn't. No,
I'm about to say, whoa, wait a minute.
It is.
I'm
real,
about to say,
bro.
hold up. Send me the
100%
link.
real.
I don't know if it's real. I'm gonna have to look this up.
Anyways, so now that we've gotten our laps in, making this podcast a little sus,
That's like we always do.
it's time to get into some actual Hawks basketball, where so during the break we had 3 games that that the Hawks played in, and 2 of them were NBA Cup games, and we finished with a record of 2-1. So, and unfortunately, we have to start out talking about our loss against the Washington Wizards.
Chase looks like he just discovered like Stephen Hawking's freaking. Chase just looks like he just walked in on Stephen Hawking taking a shower. Like, what are we doing here, bro?
Send the link.
No, I looked it up on Reddit, and someone said on Reddit, did anyone actually manage to get the Cindy Sweeney soap, or did it just go bot? And a guy replied and said, someone said, I tried for 1 minute, and there's no chance. It was just a joke. And a guy replied and said, same with me. I was at Burger King waiting in line for like half an hour with my friends just for them to tell me it was sold out. What is he talking about? What are you talking about Burger King?
So anyway,
I'm back on track. Okay. Lock in.
Anyway, yes. We have to talk about this Hawks game that we got belt to ass. I can't look at you right now. And yeah, so anyways, we go into Washington for our, I believe, our 3rd cup game, or 2nd cup game. It from start to finish, the Hawks just did not play like the Hawks, and we lost. We gave Washington their second win of the season, and Andrew, I'll let you start out with this one.
Perfect. This is Joyner. It's pretty much what you said. I mean, the Hawks, up until this point, we've been playing great basketball. We've won, I think, coming into this game, we've won 7 of our last 9 games. The Hawks were riding a high. We came off a really impressive win before this game, and like you said, this is the NBA Cup game, and we had another one against Cleveland following this game, and we knew that if we wanted a shot to take a trip to Vegas, we had to win this game and the game against Cleveland. So the Hawks had plenty of the right motives to put together a quality game on the court. But then again, you look over at the Wizards. Now, they're going to this game, they were a 2-win team. So, or one-win team, excuse me. They've only beaten one other opponent going to this game. But you look at the roster, and they've got the experience on there, but then you trickle down to the bench and you understand why they're so lackluster. But the starting five, very interesting in terms of age and quality. You got guys like CJ McCollum, who in his years in Portland and his years with New Orleans have done really well, especially against the Hawks. And you got Chris Middleton, who tore up the Hawks when we played the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals back in our 2021 playoff run. Alex Sarr, gotta hand it to him. Outplayed the Atlanta Hawks this entire game. He's the one that the Hawks decided not to get when we drafted Zachary Richese. And then Corey Kispert. Who knew that guy was a reincarnation of let's just say Corey Kispert is the guy we expected Luke Kennard to be this year. Let's just go and put that out there.
Wait, don't you mean CJ McCollum?
Well, see, yes, I was just saying Corey Kispert had a really good game from the 3-point line as well.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if you want to talk about overall who tore this team apart, first of all, the game felt like it was over after the first quarter because the Hawks lost the first quarter 45-23. And when you're letting a roster like this to score 45 on you in one quarter, that's how you know there's a defensive problem going on. And we had Kristaps Porzingis in the paint, but it's almost like Kristaps Porzingis wasn't aggressive. It's like his heart wasn't in this game because he wasn't contesting any shots. The rebounding certainly wasn't there. He was doing a horrible job setting screens for his teammates, and he was doing a terrible job at protecting the rim. So it's like he was there, but he wasn't. And he didn't find his rhythm when it came to shooting until late in the second half, really. But CJ McCollum, he found his stride from the moment the ball was tipped. He was making those kind of shots where you kind of look at Dyson Daniels and you're like, well, Dyson was draped all over and there's nothing he could do. But CJ was just hot. And anyone who knows CJ McCollum, when he gets a hot hand, there's not a lot you can do to contain him. And if you're wondering, he led the way in scoring with 46 points on 17 of 25 shooting, and that included 10 3-pointers. But Chase, it was a lot more than just CJ McCollum. Tell us about why the Hawks had problems scoring?
And, it's funny. I actually don't want to necessarily say the Hawks had trouble scoring. In the first quarter, that was definitely the case. I think what happened was, we talked about on this podcast before, the Hawks this season has been prone to getting off to a slow start. We usually find our way back in the game, but it's a very bad habit to start on slows. No one wants to put themselves in a hole down early. But the difference was here is that, like you said, Andrew, like CJ McCollum, Bob Carrington, it's not that they were just hitting threes. They were draining contested threes to the point where it's like you look at the Hawks and you're like, you're not even playing bad defensively. It's just at this point, what do you do? And the Hawks usually, instead of easing their way back in the game when they usually get out to slow start, this time it's almost like they hit panic mode and they felt like they had to go after the big shots early just to get themselves back in the game instead of just getting back into it slowly one piece at a time.
Especially you saw that with some of the deep threes he pulled up with.
Absolutely. Kristaps, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, even Jalen Johnson was uncharacteristically taking threes you wouldn't normally see him take at that point in the game, and the Hawks just weren't making them, and it caused the Wizards to dig the grave deeper and deeper, so bad to the point at one point in the first quarter, the Hawks were down by 30-plus in the first quarter. Now, we did see
the Wizards team.
Yeah, and we did see a little spurt in the second quarter where the Hawks started to pick up offensively, and we actually got it to through the second quarter, but then that's when the panic set in again. The Wizards kept CJ McCollum had 7 threes at halftime. He finished with 10, 40-plus points, like you said, Andrew, and there's just no sign of slowing down. The Hawks did score 113 in the second and fourth quarter. We did put up 30-plus points. So overall, it was a typical night offensively, but it was a historic night offensively for Washington. And we were talking to our older brother about this game on Thanksgiving, and, our older brother played basketball a lot, and he said, hey, I know what it's like to be playing against somebody that just doesn't miss no matter how hard you contend. It's depleting because you're not playing bad defense. There's just physically and literally nothing you can do. It was just one of those nights. And I do want
that same feeling playing with
John.
Yeah.
I was about to say, John, you play basketball, for a league, so like you probably know, or you do know better than Andrew and I what that's like.
Yeah, yeah. My junior year of high school, there was a team that we just could not stop.
And
They
it's just
they
no.
they ended up losing the national championship somehow, but but this team they just had if they had like size, speed, scoring ability, and so did we. Like they just had more of it.
And I want,
It,
yeah, and I just want to add to that point. Something else that I really leaned sideways for the Hawks in this game was the 18 turnovers that the Hawks committed, and it kind of goes to show that this is the kind of game. It's like when it rains, it pours. Meaning when things don't go right, it doesn't go right for anybody. And the Hawks getting off to such a bad start and feeling that pressure to score immediately and score consistently not even 10 minutes into a basketball game, that weighed on everybody's shoulders. And that affected how the Hawks were moving the ball up the court, how the Hawks were moving in transition, how the Hawks off ball movement looked. Everybody was so stagnant. It's like nobody was on the same page because nobody expected them to be in this position so early in the game. And that caused us to turn over the ball a lot, which led to a lot of fast break points, especially for Alex Sarr, who, again, got to hand it to him, looked really good in transition on fast break opportunities for Washington. And then this is another game you look at because when you get behind, like you said, Chase, the Hawks this year have followed a trend of getting off to some bad starts. And normally when that happens, the Hawks go to their number one option, Jalen Johnson, to start building some momentum. And I don't want to say that the Wizards did their homework and knew how to stop Jalen because Jalen had open looks, but not even our number one option was able to find consistency and rhythm when it comes to scoring. He was missing shots at the rim. He had trouble drawing fouls. His post, he was getting double the whole game, which Jalen Johnson had 7 turnovers himself, mainly because he tried to make bad passes once he got doubled. And he only finished the game with 7 points. And I'm sorry, it wasn't 7 turnovers for Jalen. He had 5. He had 5 turnovers, but he had 7 points and shot 3 for 12 from the field because when he didn't, because again, he was missing easy shots, but then when he did get doubled, he got caught in one of those situations where the shot clock was winding down and it forced him to take a bad shot. So not only did the Hawks give up to such a terrible start, we had no backbone to lean on, and that certainly doesn't help.
And to your point, Adrian, they did kind of take away the number one option, like you said. James Johnson,
Yeah.
was missing even the opportunities that were open, so he was posing no threat to the Wizards. But I'm going to go far and say there was no option, no second, no third, no fourth option. And you can look at the plus minus for all of our key players, and you can just see how poorly the differential was when they were on the court. I mean, Jalen Johnson was minus 20. Dyson Daniels minus 23, Nikhil Alexander-Walker minus 20, Onyeka Okongwu minus 22, and then Zachary was minus 11. So all of the 4 of the 5 key players were minus 20 plus and a plus minus, showing that they just had no effect on the court offensively or defensively. So this is one of those rare games where like just for the entirety of the game, all 48 minutes, the Wizards controlled every aspect of the game, and the Hawks just never really found themselves in it from start to finish. And it's odd, like you said, heading into this game, AJ, the Hawks are playing some really good basketball. I mean, including the win we got over Philadelphia tonight. We have now won 9 of our last 12. And this is a Washington team that's only won 1 game all year. They were 1-15 heading into tonight. So it's just, you would have never expected. The Hawks were 10.5-point favorites. That was the line heading into the game. So you would just never expected that type of outcome with this type of matchup.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like the Hawks always drop a game that we shouldn't drop it. Like this just happened to be the game. So like,
Yep.
at least we got out of the way.
It just sucks because, like I said, in terms of NBA Cup and us wanting to go to Vegas, we had to win this game against the Wizards and the Cavs because of that loss we took against the Raptors, which the Raptors up until this point have already clinched the Group C. So it was up to the Hawks to get in through one of the wild card spots. But then again, we had to win out our NBA Cup game. So this loss not only was a bad loss in terms of team morale, it was a bad loss because it officially knocked us out of the standings to get to Vegas.
And to piss us all off, the three teams that clinched were the three teams that we all hate: the Raptors, the Magic, and the Knicks.
And like you said, Adrian, not only do we have to win out, even if let's say we did win out, there was a chance the Hawks didn't make it if we lost in the differential category, if there are other teams that finished, let's say 3-1. So this was an opportunity, like the matchup, paper to paper, stat to stat. This was a very lopsided matchup. Everything favored the Hawks. So not only was this a chance to get a win in the standings, it was a chance to do like we did the first game in Indiana for our group play, but get a big differential. But it turned out to be the other way around, and we actually lost 19 points on our differential. We did end up finish -4 because of our win against Cleveland, which we're about to talk about. But yeah, overall, it just completely wiped us from the group stage competition. And, it took a shot at our morale. And it was after that game, everybody was kind of looking at, Quinn Snyder, look at this Hawks team and kind of saying, okay, this is a different Hawks team. This is a competitive Hawks team. We'll look at them right now. We're going to say, how are they going to respond to such a shocking outcome, especially against a team like Cleveland, who is, obviously one of the top contenders in the East.
Yeah, and it was a really humbling game for me personally because we have a buddy of ours. He's a Chicago Bulls fan, and a couple of days before this game, the Bulls played the Wizards and only won by 1 point. And I gave him such a hard time about that. So the moment he saw that the Hawks were getting that belt by the Wizards, he was blowing up my phone. I can't blame him. I can't blame him. I brought it on myself. So that was a very humbling experience for me, truly.
So, but now that we got the negative out of the way, let's start getting into some positives. So on Friday, Black Friday to be specific,
what a game, man! What a game this
Wednesday was. we didn't have a game on. We had a game off, obviously, and then Thanksgiving there were no NBA games, because of the holidays, obviously. But there was football.
Of course.
Basketball.
So going into Friday, we played the Cleveland Cavaliers, and what I believe to be our last Cup game.
Yeah.
Against the Cavaliers, and this game was a bit different than. This game turned out a bit differently. Jace, why don't you bring this one in?
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right, Jordan. This is really a complete opposite outcome from what we face in Washington.
But before we get into the actual game, can we talk about what a former Hawks player said before the game?
Yeah.
I was going to say, this needs to be brought up.
Yes.
This added some juice to the game.
Go ahead and bring it up, Jordan, because actually I didn't know this. I didn't even know this was said heading into the game by a beloved Hawk.
I believe I have a screenshot of it. But so as Hawks fans should know by now, DeAndre Hunter was traded at the trade deadline, he was traded on the trade deadline day of last year to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Gorgeous Niang.
Bang bang Niang.
Larry, I forget who else we got in that deal, but anyways, we sent DeAndre Hunter to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and so we didn't have DeAndre. We didn't. So this was, I believe, DeAndre Hunter's first game back in Atlanta since being traded. Because I believe the other times that we played him were in Cleveland. But earlier that day, or maybe hours before tip-off that day, DeAndre Hunter decided to run his mouth and say, I'm trying to find the screenshot. I'm gonna have to go back in our group chat a bit.
I from the top of my head, I think he said something like, no one on this team can stop me. The Hawks of all people should know that, or something like that.
Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can actually find the.
I got it right here.
Okay, here. I found it. So DeAndre Hunter I'm sorry to cut you off, Andrew, but
You're good.
NBA Central tweeted so actually. DeAndre Hunter aims fire at the Hawks, saying they can't stop me. They know that. So, Chase, why don't we talk about DeAndre Hunter's stats?
DeAndre Hunter did actually have a pretty impactful game, including a very impactful slam where I believe it was on Muhammad Gay, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't posterize him or anything, but kind of did it right in front of his face and did a little flex on them. And of course, I kind of flared the moment a little further, but he actually did put up.
Motivated didn't like that.
He did not. Well, for good reason. Nobody would. In 32 minutes, he posted 16 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. He did hit 2 threes, 2 steals as well. So nothing crazy. He was pretty impactful though. And of course, one thing we always loved about DeAndre Hunter in Atlanta was his defense, and he did also play pretty good defense as well. Guarded Zachary Ricochet a lot of the game, but Zachary actually had one of his better games in a long time. Not to say that Hunter played bad defense per se. Ricochet, scored a lot of fast break points, which is something I'm actually about to get into before I kick it to you, Andrew. I think the biggest factor for the Hawks win was the 36 fast break points they had. They forced a lot of turnovers on Cleveland's end, 17 to be specific, and they quickly turned around to fast break opportunities where it was Jalen Johnson, Zachary, Nickeil Alexander-Walker just burning every Cleveland player in the dust and making plays at the rim. And this was actually the most fast break points the Hawks have had in a game since December of 2012. So this is really a historic performance for the Hawks. We haven't seen a dominant fast break performance by Atlanta in multiple years, in 13 years to be exact. And that's something that everybody kind of expected, especially with the offseason transactions we made and knowing how good Atlanta was at attacking the fast break last year. Everybody kind of expected that was going to be kind of the main point of attack for the Hawks this year, and it has been up to this point, and especially in tonight. We haven't seen it on display quite like that. So to me, that was the biggest impact and the biggest factor of the Hawks getting a big home win against Cleveland. But Angie, what do you think about that game?
Before I get into what I think about something, I want to go back in that Wizards game just really quick because there's something very important we did not mention. But just to add on to the terrible taste that Wizards game left in our mouth, that game also officially ended Dyson Daniels' NBA leading streak with most consecutive games with at least 1 steal, which capped off that 70, which is absolutely incredible.
Beautiful
Obviously,
run.
we want him to reach 100, but you knew the streak was going to end at some point. You hated that it had to end that way, but he's already got a new streak going now of 2 games. But man, I just want to praise him there and just alert everybody that the streak is no longer alive. But don't worry, because the road to 100 started in this game against Cleveland when he did record not 1, but 3 steals in this game. So yeah, he's right back on track. But this game right here, Chase, I look at this game. This was a game full of runs. It was like both teams were exchanging these big drawn out runs, these big drawn out scoring droughts, because the Hawks came into the game and took very good control of the first quarter, which really fell early on the hands of Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who right out the gate was getting really tough buckets inside, and he did a good job at dishing out to the big man. Onyeka Okongwu had a good first quarter because Nickeil Alexander-Walker was bouncing off screens and delivering him the ball on the inside once the defender split, and the Hawks won the first quarter by 10. Then you look at the second quarter, and that's when the spider of Donovan Mitchell kind of started emerging. He made 15 shots from the field in this game, including 7 threes, and finished with 42 points. But a lot of that momentum was built off the second quarter, and it was mainly that the Hawks just could not find him on the court. He was always getting open looks, and Donovan Mitchell, whenever he gets speed behind those wheels, it's really kind of hard to stop him. It's kind of like how we view Jalen Johnson this year. You don't ever want to be in front of him on a fast break, and that's how he was getting points. And he did a good job at drawing fouls because he had a lot of N1 shots in this game. a lot of them coming from the second quarter. So they won the second quarter by 12. And then in the third quarter, it was the mirror image of how the Hawks opened the game. We started off that quarter on I believe it was like a 16-4 run or something like that. But the Hawks really took a command in that second half. And again, it led the way of Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who probably had the best third quarter of his career in this game right here to lead the way with 39 points in total. And then he had 30 points in this game. But Jalen Johnson really did a good job in this game as well, getting to the line. Because Jalen Johnson, he had a lot of free throws in this third quarter. And he also, we do want to mention this, got his second career triple-double. Second of the season, which if you really think about Jalen, he should have had about 6-7 triple doubles in the season already. But Jalen Johnson, his presence was really known in this third quarter, and the Hawks won by 9. And then the fourth quarter was evenly distributed. Fourth quarter is your definition of back and forth basketball. And Donovan Mitchell, this is when he got annoying, because when you thought the Hawks were pulling away, Donovan Mitchell hit some kind of spectacular three, spectacular post fadeaway, and one, whatever by any means necessary. Donovan Mitchell kept the Cavs alive in this game. And either Jordan or Chase, this game came down to the wire, but this game had one of the most exhilarating finishes that you're going to see in a Hawks basketball game this year. So one of you guys tell me how this game wrapped up.
Against the Sixers, or are we on the Cavs? Or against Philadelphia, or are we still on?
We're still on Cleveland. Cleveland.
Chase, why don't you bring this one? I'll start off the next game.
Well, and unlike what happened in Washington, the Hawks was, most of the game, like I said, the biggest point of attack came from fast break. On your typical offensive possession, the Hawks were doing great with inside scoring, kind of like what you hit on, Andrew. And something to add is just the ball sharing in terms of like alley-oops and lobs inside the paint. It was everybody getting involved in that aspect of the game. This isn't the first time we've mentioned something like this on this podcast. It's been a consistent point of attack in Atlanta. We mentioned, it's with the absence of Trae Young, it's kind of opened the opportunity for everybody on the Hawks to open up as playmakers. We're about to get into the Philadelphia game here a little bit, but Luke Kennard was a big playmaker in this game against Philadelphia that happened tonight. That's something we haven't seen all year. We saw tonight Zachary Ricochet throwing a lot of lobs. Mohamed Gay, Jalen Johnson, they were watching the backdoor cuts, the outside screens inside, going baseline. They all had eyes on that aspect of the game. So it's almost like having 5 Trae Youngs at the court at once. They just both all have their own special abilities. It's kind of what it's like with this Hawks team, which, I'm not gonna beat on this horse again because we said it a lot. We're hoping Trae Young doesn't come in and disrupt that chemistry. But the point I was trying to make, because Atlanta was dominating inside so much, towards the end of the game, like you said, when Donovan Mitchell just kept keeping Cleveland in this one, the Hawks were able to do something in back-to-back possessions and the final minutes of the game that just absolutely sealed the deal. And that was able to draw the Cavs inside defensively with them thinking that's where we're going to go because that's where we've been going all night. And then we were able to kick it out for 2 daggers. The first one by yours truly, Zachary Ricochet, in the corner, wide open to put the Hawks up by 3. The Hawks got a stop on the other end, got it to the top of the key. Nickeil Alexander was running to the left, dished it to him. He hit a contested left wing 3, drained it to get the Hawks up by 6 in the final seconds. State Farm Arena erupted. It was a very beautiful moment for the Hawks. You could see the emotion in Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Zachary Ricochet, and the entire bench after hitting those shots because of how bad Almore was hit after that disappointing game in Washington, and then to come home and drop 130 in Cleveland just to get right back on track. It's something a lot of NBA teams don't do. That's a hard thing to possess, but that's something Quinn Snyder praises about this team is the resilience. Jalen Johnson even praised it tonight that no matter under which circumstance, no matter what kind of punches are thrown, the Hawks are just keen, the master of just being able to bounce back and respond quickly, and that has a lot to do with chemistry. Jalen Johnson mentioned today how much time the Atlanta Hawks spend together as a core, even on their off days, to gain that chemistry. And that played a huge effect in our resilience and how much we're able to bounce back. So beautiful win Friday night.
And unless do you have something to add in this game, Jordan?
No, I don't. I'm gonna get into the. I'm gonna get into the. I'm gonna do tonight's game pretty soon because I just saw something on my Instagram that might shock you guys.
Okay,
Potential game of the year.
Hold that thought. Because I
Yeah.
do want to add one more thing to this Cleveland game really quick. Because Chase pointed out something very important about how the Hawks are able to move the ball so well in these last few games and how we're able to rack up assists because of the way the Hawks are able to get the ball out to open teammates very quick. And you saw in this Cleveland game something that I've been a really big fan of in terms of this Hawks team this year is how we're able to go from rim to rim so quick, whether that's in quick, fast break transition or, for instance, there's a moment in this Cleveland game where Jalen Johnson contested a very good shot at the rim, got the rebound, and as soon as Jalen contested the shot, Zachary Richardson began to sprint on the other end of the court, so Jalen was able to gather the rebound, and in 2 seconds, he found Zachary on the other end of the court. It was like a Matt Ryan deep ball to Zachary Richardson, will lead to an easy slam, and it's that rim-to-rim ball movement that really outshines how the Hawks move this ball and get those assists up. And that is the reason why heading into this game against the 76ers, the Hawks became the fifth team with the most total assists through 20 games of a regular season in NBA history with 616 total assists. And if you want some more context, these are the teams that the Hawks were in company with: the 92 Lakers, the 95 Lakers, the 82 Lakers, 85 Lakers, 83 Lakers, the 2016 Warriors, one of the most dominant teams in NBA history, and now on that list, the 2025 Atlanta Hawks.
And I believe 3/5 of those teams may won an NBA championship. So
Our chances are pretty good.
I'm not saying we're winning a championship, but the odds aren't in our favor.
Championships. Hey, odds are pretty good, fellas. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, Jordan, what's that news you got that might shock us?
I'm sending to you now on my Instagram. Check an Instagram group chat.
You're gonna have to read it out to me. I'm recording on my phone. So
apparently, the Hawks recreated the infamous Braun D. Wade.
Movement.
I did.
The cardiac post they made. I saw that.
I can't really tell, but that lob. They apparently they recreated. They recreated at some point through the game. I didn't notice, obviously.
I did. It was the fast break when Nikhil Alexander-Walker got one of his steals in the third quarter, and Jalen was trailing behind him, so he did a little bounce pass. Jalen did a little LeBron tomahawk slam, and Nikhil Alexander-Walker had his hands out like this. It was a beautiful moment.
Like D. Wade. So
soon as it happened, that was the first image that popped in my head.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah. So this game was
peak.
Probably the best game of the year. Granted, we are what?
It's in contention.
21 games in. 21 games in
contention.
There's still I can't do math. There's still at least like 60-something games left.
61 games left.
61 games left. So like we could have a better game, but I really doubt it. I mean, because like I don't know how you top this game, especially with how dominant Jalen Johnson was. So just to get to the stats. So Okongwu played 47 minutes. Okongwu played 47 minutes, had 10 points, 13 rebounds, and dang near triple-double. He had 10 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists. Didn't make a single 3-point shot, but hey, you know what? That's fine.
He took a couple though.
Zachary Richey had a bit of a quiet game. 12 points, two rebounds, and I guess he ended up fouling out at some point because
He did it. He didn't foul out. There was one point in the third quarter where he dunked with Embiid under him, and when he came down, he landed on Embiid's foot funny and kind of twisted his ankle. So he sat on the bench. He did end up coming in for a little bit in the fourth quarter, but that was but he just played minimal minutes after that. Oh, he did foul out though. He did foul out right at the end. You're right, Jordan. He did foul out. You're right.
Okay, I was about to say because the ESPN box score says he had 6 fouls. So
my bad. You're right. I forgot he fouled out. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So Zachary Richey had 12 points. Dyson Daniels had a dang near a triple double.
Yeah.
With 17 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals. So back up 2 more steals.
2 games in a row. Strix that too.
And then Mo Gay had a nice 13 points off the bench, 4 rebounds. And then some random guy, I guess a GUE call up. I think it's Keaton Wallace.
Keaton Wallace is absolutely correct. If you need to know about him, I can tell you. He's a future MVP of this league, guys. But just take my word for it.
So Keaton Wallace had a good game. But my personal favorite, Vic Krejci had a nice, struggled a bit. He had a nice 5 points off the bench. Nice 5 points.
Look, listen, V played some great defense today. That's something that's going to go unnoticed. But daggum, that man had some good inside defense.
Give him the 6th man of the year. Honestly, give him 6th man of the year.
I don't object.
Look, manager. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you. I didn't mean to cut you off. Just while I'm on the topic, Vic Krejci, me and Andrew were talking about it. Crit Village this year is what we thought Luke Kennard was going to be.
Right. Yeah. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I would say no, but I don't think no qualifies because he's already played a certain amount of games starting.
Yeah.
So I don't think he qualifies. Same thing with Trae Young. He can't win MVP because I have one. Because of the games he's missed, which is unfortunate. But I mean, hey, Jalen Johnson's our MVP pick. Come on now,
man.
What's the guy that I didn't talk about? Well, hold on. Well, speaking of Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Nikhil had 34 points, 11 for 22 shooting, 6 for 11 from 3. 6 or 6 from the free throw line. 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal. But the man, the myth, the legend, Jalen Johnson. Sorry, I had to mute myself. 45 minutes, 41 points, 10 for 21 true shooting, 4 for 8 from 3, 17 from 22 on the free throw line, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, a block, and yeah. Sorry guys, I'm out of breath. I'm gonna let one of y'all whoever wants to talk about this game, but man, what a game.
I mean, John, you're absolutely right when you say
excuse me, I'm out of breath.
There's a lot to get into this game, so that's what we're here for. We're here to break it down for you. But I mean, this was just a game. We were talking about in the group chat. There was neither team could pull away. I mean, it was neck and neck from start to finish. Up until the final score, the Sixers' biggest lead was only 6. The Hawks' biggest lead was 8. That was the final score. But prior to that, it was only 5 or 6, I think, as well. I don't think there was ever a point where either team was up by more than 6 until the end of the game. That's how neck and neck it was. And it was very even basketball played on both sides. And both teams were kind of attacking in the same areas at the same time. Like at the start of the game, neither team could shoot an outside shot. All the points were coming from inside. And then as the game progressed, each team started to get more and more deadly with the outside shooting. But there was a point, Andrew, I know I'm going to kick it to you to get more in depth in this. There was a point in the fourth quarter where the Hawks, seemed like they had the game under control. They took a pretty commanding lead in the final seconds, And then, of course, the Sixers had to play the foul game, which sent Jalen Johnson to the line a couple times. Correct me if I'm wrong, because don't even get me started on the fouling. There was so much fouling in this game, mainly by Atlanta. It was driving me crazy. So I got to remember who went to the line. But I want to say it was Jalen Johnson who hit to the line first. Made one free throw. Tyrese Maxey came on the other end, got an and one, and made his free throw, which got Dyson Daniels to the free throw line, and he missed one of his free throws, which made, I think it was a 4-point game at that point, and the final, and with like 14 seconds left, Tyrese Maxey to the line. He made the first free throw to make it a 3-point game, and then he missed a second. Paul George got the rebound.
It was Paul George taking the free throws.
Well, Paul George got the rebound. It wasn't him.
Because Nickeil Alexander-Walker got the rebound, and it became a loose ball because Paul George put his body on his. So he got his own rebound, found Tyrese Maxey, and that's when he hit that miracle three to send it to overtime off the rebound by Paul George on his own free throw. But you were talking just while you're –
Well, hang on. I got it right here to confirm. Okay, I didn't think so. Yeah, Paul George was not shooting free throws. He did get the rebound.
It wasn't Tyrese Maxey. I know that.
It wasn't Tyrese Maxey. It was I can't tell who this is. Oh, it was Barlow. Dominic Barlow. He shot the free throw.
Former Hog.
Yeah.
Former Hog, which.
Can we say this real quick? Like, are we like pretty like pumped to see Barlow getting a starting role with the Sixers?
40?
That's pretty huge.
45.
Tracy's favorite coach, Nick Nurse.
It's funny. Watching play the Sixers, I completely forgot the whole thing. I got teased, by the way. I thought the Sixers were going to get back to me. Apparently, I don't know if they even read my email. They probably did. It was like, who the crap is this kid? We're not even going to entertain this. So, sorry, no Nick Nurse interview. Apparently, he's busy. But Donnie Barlow, like you said, John, 45 minutes. He was a Southside prospect for Atlanta who did get a couple minutes with the team last year and played quality basketball. We always go back to that game in Chicago. We referenced it a lot last year where Barlow kind of had his big outbreak game. But kudos to him getting huge minutes in Philadelphia. And even though Jalen Johnson had a 40-point near triple-double, Bob Rappon did give him his flowers and mention how good of a game Dominic Barlow played persistently throughout the game. There's just nothing you could do on Jalen Johnson. I think we all knew that. But then overtime started. And, Andrew, this is where I want to kick it to you because this entire game was chaos, but overtime was just a different animal. And his animal was the animal's name is Tyrese Maxey. But, Andrew, you kind of break down overtime play for us and how this chaotic game ensued.
Well, I'm gonna let Andrew do it because he jinxes going into overtime as well.
And I'm also out of breath. This is a very breathtaking game.
Yep, I was gonna say before I get into overtime, I've got to take a few steps back because there's a lot of important things that happen before we even get into overtime that haven't been mentioned yet. First of all, just going back to the Hawks in general, Hawks, like you said, the 3-point ball was hard to come by for both teams, and that was something that was very apparent
to start
until we got about halfway through the third quarter. And then we started to find our rhythm thanks to Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Muhammad Gay actually hit the first 3 of the game. But the turnovers were a bad issue for the Atlanta Hawks. It was just dumb turnovers. It was self-inflicted wounds that kind of had Philadelphia maintain the lead until the Hawks got it in the third quarter because the Hawks opened up the third quarter on a 9-0 run. And then, I'm sorry, that was actually the fourth quarter. But the Hawks lost the lead in the third quarter. The Sixers gained an advantage. And then the Hawks opened up the fourth quarter on a 9-0 run. And something I want to praise.
15-0 run. 15-0 run.
It never got to 15. It was never a 15-0 run. It was a 9-0 run. Then Paul George made the first bucket. It might have been like 15-3 or something, but it never got to 15-0. But something I want to praise Quinn Snyder for. The Hawks have had this a unique ability to, whenever the Hawks seem to find themselves slipping, we're able to call a timeout. But most teams don't regenerate off the timeout like the Hawks do. We have the ability to retain ourselves, reset ourselves, and as soon as we break out the timeout, we instantly flip the momentum on these long, drawn-out runs. And that's something the Hawks did in the fourth quarter, which gained us that advantage. But when it came to closing out the game, that is when missed free throws really stabbed us the most, because we had 10 missed free throws in this game. A lot of those in the fourth quarter, like Chase said. And Tyrese Maxey's his annoying surge happened way before overtime, because he had 3 and 1s by himself in the final 6 minutes of that regulation, and then that miracle 3 to send overtime. So now that the Hawks find themselves in overtime.
Before we get overtime, I did want to confirm it was a 13-0 run to start the fourth quarter.
13 either.
Well, I just saw it. I just looked at it.
It was 9-0. Then I know Paul George scored the first.
Okay. Then explain this to me. Explain this to me. The Sixers were up 89-83 heading to the third at the end of the third quarter, and then at the 8-minute mark of the fourth quarter, it was 96-89, which equals 13 points.
Okay. Anyways, now that we got in overtime, that Chase is still wrong, but I'll prove him wrong later. But even now that we're in overtime, this is when the Hawks really found themselves in the situation of, you want to continue to ride the momentum. The Hawks have a tough back-to-back. We got the Pistons on the road tomorrow, and Tyrese Maxey was the only guy the Hawks could not contain in overtime. Because remember, BJ Edgecombe and Joel Embiid were making their return to the court this game. Joel Embiid barely got over 20 points, and BJ Edgecombe was pretty much non-existent. And Paul George, he's washed, so he wasn't really much of a threat. But yeah, for the most part, Jared McCain did make a couple big shots for Philadelphia, but Tyrese Maxey, there was something different about him in this game, because he had an ability to get the ball, and it seemed like he warped from the top of the key to the rim. It's like he blew by every defender. And foul trouble was a big problem of contesting his shots, because he did such a good job in the fourth quarter drawing the fouls. Onyeka Okongwu was in foul trouble. Zachary Richardson was in foul trouble. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was in foul trouble. Dyson Daniels was in foul trouble. And because of how tight the game was, it limited how they were able to put their body in Tyrese Maxey. And Tyrese Maxey used that to his advantage when he was driving in. But thankfully, the Atlanta Hawks were able to respond to what the Sixers did, and we find ourselves defensively able to get some good stops and grab some good rebounding. Dyson Daniels, to me, is the unsung hero in this game, because his rebounding ability and giving the Hawks second chance scoring opportunities was ridiculous. And if you ask me, this game shows me Dyson needs to be recognized as one of the best guard rebounders in the league. But I want to dish it out to you, Chase or Joyner, because there is a sequence in this game once it got into double overtime, and I want you to talk about all the way up to Jalen Johnson's clutch free throws, which sent it into double overtime, because Tyrese Maxey got fouled intentionally and missed both of his free throws, which is really uncharacteristic. But going back to Jalen Johnson, and I know you're going to know what I'm talking about in double overtime. Call it the dagger 3. Call it whatever you want. The Sixers must have not known who Jalen Johnson was, because they pulled off one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen in a basketball game. Well, I know you know what I'm talking about.
I want to go ahead and hit to what you're talking about the first time that sent it to double overtime. You mentioned Tyrese Maxey going to the line in the final seconds of overtime with a 2-point lead, and Tyrese Maxey missing both free throws. And, Bob Rathbun was of course, was bombarded by this, because Tyrese Maxey was the guy on the Sixers who was completely unstoppable, and the majority of his points came at the free throw line. But when he was going to the line in overtime, he was 15 for 16 at the line. 15 for 16, and he missed both. which is something no one would have predicted, which gave the Hawks 8 seconds to either try to make a play inside to send it to double overtime or go for the win, which we did give it to Jalen Johnson in the post. He turned around and had a great look at the basket, got fouled, and almost had an and one for the win. He didn't get the and one, but before going to the line, there's this very weird moment between Nick Nurse and the referees. The referees blew the whistle, said the 76ers was going to challenge the foul call, which was completely absurd. Bob Rathbone was like, how are you going to challenge this call? It was why am I not? It was Dominic Barlow once again guarding Jalen Johnson. He jumped on his back as Jalen Johnson was getting the shot off. So, I mean, we'll look at the replay. We're like, okay, this is a horrible challenge, Nick Nurse. If Jalen Johnson makes both his free throws and goes to double overtime, you just use your last challenge on something completely ridiculous. But then we're just kind of like, okay, I guess, you can't take the challenge home with.
Because even because you weren't going to say it. I was going to throw this in there. Bob even theorized where maybe he's just trying to see if it's a foul on the floor and not a shooting foul, which, again, if that was the case, it doesn't matter because the foul put the Hawks on the bonus. So none of that mattered.
And so we were thinking, or you can't take the challenge home with you, so maybe he's just risking it, taking the challenge down, hoping by some miracle this is overturned or something. Obviously, but then there's something odd. This was a clear foul call, yet the referees were taking a long time looking at it. So then Bob Rathbone starts to get aggravated. They're like, this is fun. Funny enough, this is the longest timeout we've had all game, and it's on a call that's very blatantly obvious. So they go up there and they say, after review the play, the ruling on the court stands. It was a foul. Jalen Johnson's going to shoot 2. Put 1 second back on the clock. So, okay, all good is square. Jalen Johnson's going to the free throw line. But then you look over at the scorer's table, and Joel Embiid, Dominic Barlow, and Nick Nurse are talking to the refs. And then the refs huddle together, and they're talking. So Bob Rathbone's like, okay, something's wrong. Because, they got the call right, obviously, yet they're still talking about it. And then the guy goes back to the scorer's table and says, due to referee mistake, Nick Nurse was not challenging the call. He gets the challenge back. There was a foul call, and there's only 0.3 on the clock.
Yeah,
so now
I'm confused about that. So, what was the stopping?
How do you get that confused? How do you think? What were you doing for a minute? Did Nick Nurse not say, hey, we didn't challenge the call? What were you doing for 5 minutes?
They were trying to screw us out and cool off Jalen Johnson so we didn't make both free throws.
That's what it felt like.
Smart.
That's what they were doing. That's what I was thinking.
They pulled a Kirby Smart.
Okay, you're trying to screw us out of a win. Okay.
They pulled a Kirby Smart and gave him a phantom challenge because here's the situation. Not only did it ice it, let's just say that for some weird reason the call was reversed. Then they would have gone to the scores table and said, oh, they didn't challenge. Then Nate Nurse would be like, okay, now I want a challenge. So he got a challenge that failed without using his challenge.
Well, also Another thing to consider is, when you're challenging a call, you're also able to take a look at the clock and see how much time was left. Originally, they had 0.3 on the clock. After the challenge, they put a second back on the clock. And then after the no, he didn't challenge, they put 0.3 back on the clock, which meant, okay, let's say Jalen Johnson misses a second free throw or he has to miss one on purpose. Now the Hawks don't have time to do that. The only option is to make both free throws. But because Jalen Johnson is freaking Jalen Johnson, he nailed both the free throws. We went to double overtime. And then and then what Andrew was talking about with the point of the game where the Hawks up by 3, Jalen Johnson was a wide open, the right wing, uncontested. Jalen Johnson catches the ball, and then he notices that Dominic Barlow standing in the paint, and he's not even going to contest. He is standing there watching Jalen Johnson, daring him to hit the dagger. So Jalen Johnson's like, bet. He collects himself, looks at the rim, takes a nice shot, and drains it for the dagger, and then looks at the bench and didn't say it with his words, said it with his face. Don't you ever dare me to hit the dagger again. And then the Hawks never looked back and ultimately secured the huge double overtime win.
which something that Bob Rothman said that about the game, which took me by surprise, is that the Hawks are now 9-4 on the road. We have 9 wins on the road.
That to me, that's not even the most surprising thing that Bob Rathbun said. I don't know if y'all noticed, there was this key moment in the third quarter. I can't remember who hit the shot, but it got the Hawks to 67 points. And then Bob Rathbun had the audacity to say,
Stop. No.
With that shot, the Hawks are now at 6-7 points. Who taught Bob that? Who taught Bob Rathbun 6-7?
Hey, since we're throwing out some absurd facts that we learned of this game, another one that was mentioned because they were talking about how Joel Embiid has made his return to the court tonight, and it's the first time he's played since November 3rd.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this
statistic, and this blew my mind. Ever since Joel Embiid has been in the league, he has only played in 54% of his games.
Eligible games, which means games that he was able to play. So this isn't including the games where he's during his ACL tear. They're not including those games, but they're including the games he is eligible to play.
Yeah, which absolutely blew my mind because he won an MVP. And though in my eyes it was a Mickey Mouse MVP because he shouldn't have won it, just think about how much more accolades this guy could have if he actually took advantage of every opportunity he had on the court, which was absolutely insane. But yeah, the Hawks got a massive win here, big morale booster. And Chase was talking about how we managed to bounce back from that Washington blowout in that Cavs game. And then the fact that we were able to translate that to this hard-fought game against the Sixers, now going to this Pistons game tomorrow, we have a chance to continue to turn this table here. We're now 13-8, 9-4 on the road, like Joyner said, and we've won 9 of our last 12 basketball games. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great time to be a Hawks fan.
Yeah. And one more thing too. We do have a Trae Young update. I believe
yes.
I believe this came on Wednesday or Thursday. I believe it came, or was it?
I think was it Friday? I think it was early Friday.
Let me look back. I remember, me and Andrew mainly brought it up. Let me see.
I want to say it was early Friday. I could be wrong there.
But yeah. So let's see. Let me see if I can find it in our group chat real quick.
I remember we got the news when we were playing golf, and that was Friday morning.
Okay, yeah. So Trae Young got checked up on, and the doctors decided that he needs a bit more time to heal up, which of course sucks in a way because yes, you want to have one of your best players out there, but also especially after this game, he can take all the time he needs to get back to 100%. Honestly, honestly, yeah. So,
yeah, and they mentioned, I think earlier in the week on Wednesday, this was Saturday morning, not Friday. I meant Saturday, but I think about Wednesday or Tuesday, they talked about that if they reevaluate Trae Young and he was quoted, healthy enough to play, he would have made his return tonight. He was set to make his return tonight. But like you said, John, unfortunately, the update didn't go like we thought it would. And yeah, he's going to miss some additional time, which is unfortunate. But, it's better that he misses the time that he needs to get fully healthy instead of rushing his return and then potentially, increasing the severity of the injury.
Yeah, Kill Alexander Walker, the rest of our starters and our bench has been playing.
Oh yeah,
they've stepped up completely. And,
no,
they're gonna put us in a really good position to keep our win, to keep our record above 500 when Trae Young comes back. And
yeah.
so when fully healthy, we can make a big push towards the top of the East.
No rush at all.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely don't want to rush things too much, at least. But,
Yeah, absolutely.
we want Trae Young back, obviously, because he is a good scorer. But obviously, I mean, we're playing just fine without him.
Absolutely.
So,
9 of our last 12.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's all I got. That's all I got. Do you have anything else to say, or?
I'm all good, man.
I think that nothing I can think of.
All right. Well, to preview next week's games, we before we see you on next Sunday, we will have 4 games to talk about, including
4 games to cover.
One tomorrow. I'm in Detroit against the Pistons. One at home against the Clippers. One at home on Friday against the Nuggets, and one on Saturday in Washington again. So where we will hopefully get our get back on Washington.
We need our get back.
Yeah, we definitely need our get back on Washington.
We need to run. We gotta run that one back.
Yeah. And then after that we won't have another game for another like 6 days after that, because because only after that our next game would be on Friday the December 12th, and the Saturday game against the Wizards is on the 6th of December. So a decent test for us these next couple games. But as for myself, my 2 podcast hosts, Manager Jay Jefferson, thank you guys for tuning in to another Talkin ATL Hawks episode. Caw-caw!